Hello YouTube. Today I'm making this video just to show you my little 3D model I'm making. So I've been practicing trying to make good kitchens in SketchUp for a little while, and I'm starting to like this one a lot. Ignore these little triangle diamond things. They don't show up in the render. Those are just lights, but I can't get them to work right, so they don't particularly matter at the moment. And all the textures are designed to work in SketchUp and not really designed to work in, designed to work in V-Ray, not work in SketchUp that well. It's 6 a.m. by the way, so it's a little early for me. I haven't slept yet because that's how that's how I work. So the idea is this is where the windows are going to be. There's going to be some appliances installed where these drawers are. These are just temporary, really. Just gonna fill those in. It's always, I made the bad decision to fill these in after I extruded them, which is a really dumb idea. Makes it so it takes you 500 times as long, if not more. Because there's always somewhere that you've missed somehow. I'll give you a rough estimate of how it looks when it's rendered so you have an idea. So I'm using all Vismat textures. I'm not happy with all the textures. Some of them are not going in right, but most of them are, so it's not bad, but I'm definitely happy with how much detail I'm getting into this one compared to some of the other kitchens I've done. Let's have a look when I render it. I'm hoping that my computer doesn't lag out when I render. I'm recording using my cell phone and not I'm recording the audio of my cell phone, so it should hopefully come in fine. Well, the audio will, and that's the important bit. So as we can see, I have this wall, which is a Vismat, but it's not working perfectly, so I might replace it. Replace the texture. These things are all working out pretty good for the most part. This countertop material is really just a placeholder. I'm going to be replacing it with a more complementary wood to this ebony wood here. I'm going to show you some renders I've done already before I go. This is just a quick update. If you guys are interested, I can do a tutorial on how to use this software if you want, but I'm just making this quick video to show my progress. I guess this is the first time I really did a video on this. If you liked it, definitely subscribe, just mentioning that. We go into my folder system here. So I run this thing called Clover, and it allows you to have tabs on your Windows Explorer, which can be pretty damn useful. Let me just go to my, oh, sorry, wrong place. So I'm calling it Classic Kitchen right now. So that's what it started off with. This was a very early revision. So I've done some things. If I just move that over, you can see small details like these wooden crown moldings being shaped. That's all small detail that I really wanted to get into this model. Other things include the shape of these drawers and such. I'm not entirely happy of these. I'm going to be working on them a little bit. And you can see how that reflects into your actual render. So I wasn't entirely happy with some things. So the texture isn't working on this particular piece for some reason. I'm really new to SketchUp, really, so these are just new things for me. Now, the ebony texture I'm using has scratches, and I'm not sure if I like that because this is supposed to be a pristine kitchen. And these are also slightly placeholder-y items. They're going to be done up in the final render. I'm just trying to get everything to the point where I like it. And then I'm going to do some of the really small details later. I have wooden cross members up here. And then I have a crown molding that's kind of unique, and it doesn't match up with the wall. And I did that because I feel like it gives it a really interesting look, and I just like it. Let's see. So I've also added some of these. All these drawers open up this way. And the reason I did that, because they're really separated a lot more than there are on normal islands or countertops. And for that, I just wanted them to be each on the same kind of just a unique way of doing it, I guess. You know, not having it here and there, but having it there, 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 and there. I could always change it in the future. And here's more detail of the upper crown molding. For me, this feels almost like it's a really badly done veneer finish, which isn't nice. It really feels like almost like one of those paper veneer finishes that you've seen back in the 1920s done on old radios. I just don't like it because that's just what it looks like. It's badly done veneer, and I don't understand why that texture is like that, but it is. So I'm going to have to find another ebony texture to use in place of that. I'm using Bismats because I really don't understand how to properly make a texture really work in V-Ray that well. So I'm just working that out at the moment. And things like this metal textures don't seem to work right. Anything with too much reflection isn't working, and I just can't figure that out. But I will, eventually. This is what this texture is, and for some reason it's not coming out as 3D as it looks in the sphere. I'll do a quick render. I could do RT, but RT is a bit... it doesn't work very well on my graphics card. I've got a 780, and it just doesn't work as well as I'd hope it would. I don't think it's technically supported. But as you can see, that really doesn't look 3D at all. So I don't know exactly what they were trying to go for. That sphere definitely doesn't look like how I'd want it to be, though. Here's the website I downloaded that from, and I guess it looks kind of the same in the video, in the picture. I'm gonna have to find a way to make a more realistic wall. And one thing is, I really do have high expectations for these renders. I'm a bit of a perfectionist when it comes to this type of thing, and it's caused me to give up quite a few times. So I'm a bit of a quitter and a bit of a perfectionist, which are two things you don't want to be at the same time. So it causes me to kind of give up on a lot of projects when I can't get them exactly the way I want. You can also see here I got a wine rack that's not particularly great. I'm going to redo it, but it's good for placeholding, kind of. I really want to get the form of the kitchen finished before I start really getting tiny details in. This one, I want this to be a good project where I keep working on it for at least a few weeks. I just started this yesterday, by the way. Or this morning, actually. No, technically yesterday. I haven't slept since about, I'd say, 4 o'clock yesterday is when I woke up. So I'm that type of person where I'll stay up for 24 hours easily, 34, 48 even. High powered, you know. This here, as you can see, I made the countertop very uniform, and that's why there's all these in here. I don't plan on keeping all of these here. I kind of made it modular, so I could take them out and put other things in. It's a modular system, and I kind of make things systemic like that. Keep very similar sizes, uniformity. So it makes it so when I do other things, it makes it very easy to do, because I just know what the sizes are. I don't have to measure everything out. And I don't know if that's a thing that's commonly done. I'm guessing it is. I'm kind of thinking about going to school again for industrial design, and this would be what my career prospects would be designing. Did I say interior design? I meant industrial design. This is really what I'd plan on doing, is this type of thing here. I haven't done this side yet in the island. As for where I want the oven, or the range and the oven and all that, well, I want there to be a large sink here and a smaller finishing sink here, and I'm probably going to either have the oven in here, maybe I could have two widthwise, or I could have two up here. This is too big of a cabinet. I'd be wasting some space, but I could make smaller compartments around it, which would look really cool. I mean, there's definitely storage space, so I don't care about that. So I could definitely do that, and I'm trying to develop a my own Bosch system. There's a system already on like the 3D warehouse, but it's not very good. I think it was uploaded by Bosch themselves, but I mean it's a really low detailed text or model. It's just crap. It's perfect in dimension, but it's not perfect. What am I going to download? It's not perfect in just detail. And I want my texture. My ideal is to make it look like you're looking into a proper kitchen. And there's not a lot of rendering I've seen that's really been able to perfect that. And I think my biggest limitation when it comes to doing that is SketchUp. So I am actively trying to learn 3ds Max and then using V-Ray or Mental Ray in 3ds Max to do this. The things that 3ds Max really lack in it are community. It's a lot more complicated. It's so complicated that it's just hard to understand, and it feels like I'm doing something that's going to be as hard as SketchUp was, or sorry, not SketchUp, as hard as After Effects was when I learned that. And I mean, I still don't understand. After Effects all that well, and I've been learning it for over 2 years. I did a class. And I mean, 3ds Max is just going to be the same thing. So it's always just a matter of slowly learning these things. And the reason I got into 3D modeling in the first place was really to give me some latitude with After Effects, so I could do a lot of models and then import them using what's it called? What's that called? I forget what it's called. The 3D free animator. I forget the program or the plugin in SketchUp, or I keep saying SketchUp. Program in After Effects that allows you to upload OBJs into After Effects and put them into your little. I can't think right now. I'm so tired. So this is a microwave I've been working on, and it's hard. So you can see a few things I've done with the microwave. I've made the LCD more realistic. I added a texture. This is the real texture to the microwave. The funny thing is, I was looking at professional rendering or professional uploads of this, and they use the same textures as me, which made me feel good. I mean, I was really saddened that I had to use a texture that had this reflection pre-built into it, and then I really noticed that I'm not the only one who's used it. I've seen ones that are going for $50, $100, OBJ models that do the same thing. So that made me feel a little better. So this is the model that came from the store, and a few things you'll notice about it already is if I just start hiding things, there is no interior at all. So they totally just skimped out on the interior. The buttons are totally not not realistic to the actual unit at all. There's no display. These really don't have any depth to them. There's slight. These have a slight bezel to them. Each of these parts. And of course, when you render this thing, it just looks like almost exactly as it does now. So, I mean, there's a bit of a metal sheen to it, but that's as far as it goes. Not even really, to be honest with you. Mine, I'm having issues with it rendering properly. So, also I added the rubber stoppers here too. These aren't perfect. But yeah, it's not rendering right, and I don't know why. Also, I'm working on the interior. I haven't really had too much progress on that in the last little while. So let's have a look here when I render this. So as you can see, it's definitely not working as you would want it to. For some unforeseen reason, my what do you call it? the buttons, the touch-sensitive button thingamajiggies don't show up at all. It just doesn't show up at all. And I'm thinking it's because it's too close, but I moved the buttons a little bit farther away from the surface and it didn't fix it. So I'm just going, ooh, right now about that. Otherwise, some other things that are not working. As you can see, I can see straight through this. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I honestly don't. It's clear. It's clear to me, but it's not clear. It's clear on the render, but it's not clear on here. It's retarded. I don't know what I don't know what I'm doing wrong, to be honest with you. Let's have a look here. So, if we go here, preview full material. So, there's not a lot of settings in this. And I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I'm going to try to import a material into here. See what happens. Not brickstone, that would be a little interesting. Let's go to metal. And then what I do is I go into the folder and then I go over into here. Anyway, this is the most incredibly useful thing I've ever. Makes using Windows, which I'm usually a Mac user. This makes Windows more tolerable, even though Mac doesn't really. They do utilize this, but they made it convoluted to use. You can do this exact same thing in Finder if you enable it. So the good thing is with all these texture packs I get, don't know if that's the right name, they give you little JPEGs of the idea of what they would be. So that's a brushed aluminum. Now brushed aluminum doesn't look like brushed aluminum when I use it. It looks like death. Like I'll show you. So I get a brushed aluminum. Oh, it's brushed steel. Was it brushed steel? Yeah, okay. Brushed steel, I mean. And then we look at the render. And actually that doesn't look as bad as it usually does. Sometimes it looks just absolutely terrible. And I mean, it's very obvious what I have to do. I have to change something. I just don't know what. I don't know how to change the size of the texture to make it more realistic. It's in here. I just don't know. That's like glossiness. You see, I feel like I'm probably going to have to go into one of these and then fix it somewhere. I just don't understand. I'm very new to this. I've been using this software for about 2 months. And I come from a background of video. I don't come from this background anyway. I fixed that issue. That looks fine. Of course, I still can't see through that for some goddamn reason, and I don't know why. So, like, what the you notice this? Okay. Sorry. This is clear. It's not clear. This is clear. It's not clear. What the fuck? This is retarded. And this is why all of my friends who are in the industry that do this all day, they're like, Calvin, do not use SketchUp. Just learn Maya or 3ds Max. And I'm like, yeah, but it's so hard, and this you can get V-Ray to work on it, and they're like, no, don't use it. And this is the exact reason. And also because it randomly crashes all the time. Like if it uses up more RAM than the program's designed to use, like if it uses up more than 10 gigs of RAM, it just crashes. It's retarded. I kind of wish that it wouldn't. Like it doesn't necessarily have any shiny material. It'll make it black. It's kind of when you're editing a material. When you're doing something graphical. It really helps when you have a live preview of this, and you can do V-Ray RT and get a live preview, but RT doesn't work that great in my case. It also makes it laggy as fuck. Is it doing it? Here, I'm just going to go in here, make sure RT's set up right. Oh, that's why. Okay. So V-Ray is preparing. Oh, did I click? To click that. And it's not even live coding for some reason. What the fuck? Oh, there it goes. Yeah, it is. Oh, that's not that bad at all. Why is this working in RT? Why does this work in RT, but it doesn't work in R? Why is it working in ray trace, but not? I don't know. This is still not working at all. I can't see through this. I have an idea of why that's not working. I'm wondering if... so these are PNG images, and I'm wondering if it's not recording the alpha channel, which would be this clear area here. It's very possible. Actually, RT is working very well. It just doesn't seem to always work as well as it is here. That's not bad, actually. Let me go over to here, and it's just like, whatever. There's no textures. Oh yeah, I stole the Bosch logo from this model. The Bosch logo is perfect between these two. So when Bosch made this, they knew to make the logo perfect, but everything else isn't. Another thing I'm working towards getting is a proper CAD mouse, which is going to be the one where it's more of a puck that you move on top of the mouse. I think that's going to be good. I'm also wondering if a tablet is going to work in this. So I'm thinking about getting a basic tablet and seeing what happens. I'm not sure. But that's actually working quite well. It's just... yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. Not bad at all. Oh yeah, another thing is this is 1-to-1 exactly. I'm actually thinking about potentially releasing this as a model eventually. Not to the SketchUp community. They're very limited actually. It doesn't half the time the website doesn't work. That's the first thing. Like it doesn't work on SketchUp. It just kind of stops loading. If I go to 3D Warehouse here. So I don't remember calling myself Skink. I think they generated that name. Go to my 3D Warehouse. So I released this chair, which 10 people downloaded. And the issue is I work entirely within V-Ray. That doesn't help. I work entirely in V-Ray, so I can never really get textures perfect. I just kind of put in a basic texture, brown and a silver-ish color. This is what the chair looks like when I see it in V-Ray. If I go to, so I think it's in 1. Oh, that was when I couldn't get the texture to work. No, do I not have a? Here we are. So that's what the basic chair looks like on its own. And the thing is, they won't let you upload an image. They just kind of generate this image wherever the hell they want. They don't really give you any options. And this is just really dumb, in my opinion. You can kind of load it with this menu here. It's kind of nice. It's actually quite nice. Not that it helps it much. And I don't like this chair anyway. This isn't that great of a chair. But, you know, liked a few things. This was kind of decent, kind of. That's the oven. I'll be doing the oven next. I want to do the entire Bosch collection. You know, they have like an oven, microwave, and a coffee maker that really go. They're designed to be sold together to be installed in the kitchen, and I think those are very nice. Definitely, I want to do the entire collection. But yeah, I think this is done by Bosch themselves, because their account's called Bosch. So it makes sense. And that one looks a little better than the one I have. No, it doesn't. Never mind. That's the exact one I downloaded. Should have liked it. because I mean it's still nice. It's just not perfect, you know. Where's the like button? Here it is. I digress. I don't want to keep you guys held up too long. I'm going to try this in, first of all, I'm going to try this in my main model here, this RT, see if it works any better than it used to. As for this kitchen, it's always going to be this. It's never, I'm not going to install this in the house or anything. I've done houses, but I've kind of moved away from them because houses, I mean, you have to think about a lot when you're doing a house. You have to think about things like where the wiring is going to go, support, structural support. And these are things that I don't understand. I don't have a clear understanding on architecture. Even though I love to, and I pretend to sometimes, I just don't. So I feel like I shouldn't be making architectural models. Instead, I should just be working within the confines of a building. Because, I mean, this stuff, you can generally understand where it's going to go, where wiring is going to go inside walls and stuff. That's not too hard. But when you're working with a whole house, and you have to think of all that, it's just, there's so many technicalities, too, that you have to think about. It's just impossible for a person who doesn't have a degree. So we'll let that kind of load. Okay, so I think back that RT doesn't work. It seems like it works pretty damn well. For some reason, RT seems to work a lot better than the actual just R. And I don't understand completely, because I use R to just render my final outputs generally, because I always thought that R was for final, and then this was just for preview. Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, definitely enjoying SketchUp. I just wish it was a lot better. And I also find these tools to be really simple in a bad way, because I can't get real fine detail. I have to use these aftermarket plugins to get any organic details sometimes. The best I can do is a curve like that. Like making handles like these, which are not very easily, you can kind of see it. These handles are not easy to make. I use the follow me tool, and the follow me tool always glitches the fuck out. It just doesn't do it right. You can see the detail of that texture. This is a chrome texture, I believe. So it looks fairly decent. It works. I think it looks perfect for the model. This mahogany, I really wish it wasn't scratched, and it would just look fine. It would look good enough because I wouldn't be doing close-ups like this. I'd be doing nice, proper views out, and I guess you can still use it. The countertops are going to be probably, I want to get that artificial marble, you know, what's it called? The stuff you can get that looks, in my opinion, kind of nice, better than marble sometimes. I find marble to look almost archaic, kind of. The good thing about marble is that it's just, there's weight to it. But I kind of like the resin-based marble look-alike that uses the powder and then resin. But that's just me. I want to get that. I think it's called Millennium? Millennium? Something like that. Anyway, I'm going to let you go. I've been recording for 29 minutes, so I better cut this short. Have a good day.